Hello, everybody. We want to thank you for joining us, and we want to welcome you to our new YouTube page at Valley Hispanic Bomberos. You can also find us at our website at www.vhbomberos.org, on Instagram at vhbomberos, and on Facebook at Valley Hispanic Bomberos. We created this YouTube page specifically to help us communicate with you, our members, and for anybody who is interested in our organization. It's important for us to stay connected to you during these times. So please go to our YouTube channel, subscribe, make sure to turn on your post notifications to be notified every time we post a new video, and feel free to share. Okay, so today's video is going to be just a general video about how to get started reaching your goal as a firefighter. If you visit us at our website at www.vhbomberos.org, you can go through and find lots of information about our organization and more specifically about our mentorship program. If you click on the members tab, it gives you lots of information on how to get started, how to register for our mentorship program, and other general information. So let's talk real quick about Los Bomberos. We are what's known as an affinity group, and our organization is made up of sworn firefighters and what we call associate members, and those are men and women who are trying to become firefighters. The organization was created by members to specifically mentor men and women who are trying to become firefighters, and also gives our members and associate members opportunities to get involved out in the community. One of the best pieces of advice we can give as an organization through our mentorship program is to get involved with the mentorship program, to get involved with an affinity group. You have to be able to learn what the culture is about, get involved with firefighters, talk with firefighters, understand what it takes to become a firefighter. And the only way you're going to be able to do that is to kind of immerse yourself in the culture of a firefighter so that you know what the expectations are. So let's just talk from the beginning. I've gotten calls before, we've gotten calls before, emails before from somebody who's interested in becoming a firefighter, and they're like, where do I start? Where do I begin? Or my son is interested in being a firefighter, or my daughter is wanting to be a firefighter. How do they get involved? How do they start? So let's just talk about the basics real quick. My examples today are going to be more geared towards the city of Phoenix. I work for the city of Phoenix, so that's the process that I'm most familiar with. And for the most part, around the valley, the processes are the same, but it's going to be your responsibility to do your homework and find out specifically for the different city or different department that you might be testing for, to find out what their process is like and what their requirements are. So for the most part around the valley, the minimum age requirement is you have to be 18 years of age. Another minimum requirement for most departments is you have to be EMT certified. Now people say, how do I get EMT certified? So you can get certified through the community colleges. It's probably the easiest way. Go to Phoenix College, Glendale Community College, Paradise Valley Community College, Estrella. Just get online and find out where the classes are, how to get registered. They're typically a semester course, and they fill up quick. I know that, so you can make sure that if you're interested, to hurry up and get online and figure out what you need to do to get yourself into an EMT course. That's Emergency Medical Technician, and that is, again, a minimum requirement for most valley departments. Another minimum requirement for some departments around the valley is they require to be firefighter 1 and 2 certified. Again, that's another course that you can take through the community college, and you would have to get online and find out how to register for that course. Again, that's firefighter 1 and 2 certification that some valley departments require you to be. I know the city of Phoenix does not. Another minimum requirement is the candidate physical ability test, or known as the CPAT. Back in the day, some of the departments used to put on the CPAT themselves. But nowadays, for the most part, it's your responsibility to get yourself CPAT certified. You'll have to get online, you'll have to look that up, candidate physical ability test, and you'll have to schedule a time and pay for that certification, where you'll go down to wherever that location is or whoever's holding that and run through a skills course, run through a candidate physical ability test, and that's the physical agility test. And once you pass that test, you get that certification, and typically that certification lasts 6 months. So just a quick recap. Minimum age requirement is 18 years of age. You need to get EMT certified. You need to be firefighter 1 and 2 certified for some valley departments. You need a candidate physical ability test, and you need to get yourself involved in a good mentorship program. Some other good advice I can give you, some things to think about is, making sure you have your GED or your high school diploma. You will be required to take a background check, so having a clean record is important. And another key thing to make sure that you look into is your driving record. A lot of city departments require you to have a clean driving record as well. So make sure you look into all those things before you get into the process, and make sure you have all of that squared away. Something else to understand is this is a long process. You have to be persistent in doing the things you need to do to reach your goal, but you also have to be patient. This is not like a regular job where you would get online, fill out an application, somebody will call you back in a week, maybe set up an interview, sit down and have an interview, and maybe get a job offer, within a month. This is a long, drawn-out process. It could take anywhere from 6 months to a year to go through the entire process. So another good piece of advice is be persistent, doing what you have to do to reach all your goals, take your classes, get your certifications, and just be patient with this process. So let's talk about this process. And specifically, I'm going to give you an example and kind of break down how the City of Phoenix process works. It's kind of general, but this is pretty much how the process works. Something else to think about, like I said, being patient, being persistent. We're looking for individuals with some life experience, with some work experience. So while you're taking your classes, getting your certifications, make sure that you're working, getting some work experience. So if you get to the point where you do have an interview, you have things to talk about in your interview. So back to the process. Basically, how the process works is the City of Phoenix will put out a notification that they'll be hiring for firefighter recruit. You get on the city website, look up the Phoenix Fire Department, and you can see what that date is. So let's just say they put a notification that there's going to be a test for firefighter recruit in March. Let's say in the end of January that notification comes out. You'll get online and you'll register. Typically they give you about a month to study. You'll get online, you'll register, download a application and a study packet, and so let's just say you'll study for the month of February, and then the test is in March. So you'll go down, you'll take that test. Once you take the test, you get your scores back. Now, let's just say they'll score the test from 100 to, let's just say 70% is passing. So how they do it is, so you take the test, you'll get your scores back. Depending on what you score, they'll start at 100, and they'll say, okay, so everybody from 100 to 90, if you scored in that range, you'll get a notification and you'll get a first round interview. You get prepared for your first round interview. You get an interview date. You go to your interview. If you pass your interview, you get passed on to a second interview. If you don't pass your first interview, you'll get a notification that says you didn't pass your first interview, and it pretty much means we'll see you next year. For those of you to get to a second round interview, you'll get a date for a second round interview. Go to that second round interview. If you pass your second round interview, typically you'll get called and you'll get sent to the next academy. If you don't get called to go to the academy, what they'll usually do is they'll put you on an eligibility list. And then from there, they keep going down the list. So that was from 100 to 90. So then they'll go from 90 to 80, and they'll do that same process over again. First round interview, pass, go to second round interview. If you pass, you go to the academy. If you don't pass, you get put on the eligibility list. Now, depending on how many academy classes the department and the city decides to put on, kind of determines how fast they move through that list. Typically, they'll test once a year, and they'll put that list out. So when I tell you to be patient, here's a good example. So let's say you take that test and you score 75. You had a passing score, but you're down towards the bottom of that list. So the test was in March. By the time they go through 100 to 90, first round, second round interviews, 90 to 80, first round, second round interviews, it may be towards the end of that year. It may be all the way until October before you get called for your interview. So that's what I mean about being patient. That's 6, 7, 8 months before you actually get a notification for an interview. So you have to be working out, you have to be staying physically fit, you have to get your certifications, go to school, take some classes, work, volunteer, get involved in the mentorship program. There's lots of things you can do in the meantime to get yourself ready, to be prepared, so when you do get that notification, you're prepared and you're ready to go and sit down in front of an interview panel and talk about all the things that you've been doing to get prepared and why you want to be a firefighter. So that's just a general example of how the process works. It's a long, drawn-out process. It's a very competitive process, and it's to your benefit to do everything that you can and work as hard as you can to achieve this goal. This is a great job. It's a great career, and we here in the Valley Hispanic Bomberos, the reason we have our mentorship program is we're looking for dedicated individuals with strong work ethics that we can hire, that we can work with every third day. We're looking for good people to join our family, and that's what our mentorship program is about. So that's just an example of how this process works and how long this process takes. So I hope this give you some good insight on how the process typically works. So that's it for this video. I hope it was informative. Just wanted to put a little video out to give you some information and how the process works and how to get started. We'll be putting some more videos out here shortly. Get online, follow us on our social media sites to stay connected with us. It's some crazy times right now, but we want to stay connected and do everything that we can to help you reach your goal of becoming a firefighter and getting involved with our organization. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and share this video. I know it was a little bit long, but we just wanted to get that information. That was a typical conversation that I've had with many people over the years when, again, they come to us and say, how do we get started? So I hope it helped. Thank you very much for your continued support of Los Bomberos. Be safe, be smart, and be healthy. We'll see you next time.